Welcome on today's Dharma discussion. My name is Nhut, and I'm happy to be here with everyone who has the opportunity to click on the video and join me here today. And today is Sunday, May 17th, 2020. It's still difficult and hard for me to say 2020 because I'm still stuck in 2000. 2000. I remember when, man, the new millennium just, when it hit 2000. Oh man, now I'm starting to feel old. Okay, but to begin, let's say the Buddha's name 3 times in Vietnamese. Join me if you can. Nam mô Phật Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni. Nam mô Phật Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni. Nam mô Phật Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni. Nam mô Phật Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni. Greetings, everyone, my friends. It's been a little while, hasn't it? 1 week sure goes by really quick, and today we're at another location in which the wind will not be interfering with our discussions. I'm always very happy to get a chance to speak to you guys, talk to you guys, share with you guys my experiences here at Dai Dang and what I've learned so far, what has given me the ability to continue living mindfully. Once I get the wind issue cleared up, you will be out there with nature, because I think it's very important to be out with nature. We tend to stay inside the house more, right? Playing games and reading books, going to school. We're always inside. And so I want to be outside. I want to share with you guys how beautiful it is to enjoy life outside in nature. And so every time we, once I get a mic with that fuzzy black audio thing that you would see on the microphone, they would have this black thing. And I'm going to find one of those things and I'm going to attach it to the phone in a particular way, and it will muffle out the wind noise and sound so that you guys can follow me with these adventures. It's been a month now, right? Since we've last seen each other, due to the COVID-19 virus. I'm so used to saying it as the corona virus. Now they've changed it to COVID-19. It's really been going by so fast, hasn't it? Last week, we had a discussion about going to the root cause of who we are, going deeper and deeper into who is it that we are before we came into this life. The cause of suffering, which is attachment to anything, and how to stay aligned in everything that we do, and to continue so that we can live without any suffering. What is that that's causing us to not be able to let go of the things that are that we know that we must one day let go. So how do we do that? So it's not a easy thing to do. Some people learn to let go by practicing daily, and some people learn to let go in just one go. And they'll be able to do it right away. And some have to go through certain types of obstacles in which they will reach the very bottom, in order for them to really understand why they need to let go. And so we will all experience letting go of something. And when we experience it, it will be very difficult if we don't have the proper training, the proper understanding. And so this is why I am here, to guide you guys, show you guys, and explain to you guys some of the experiences that I have had. And over the weekend there was an incident in which has given me a lot to learn from. And so we will discuss that in just a second. Last time we were discussing about the root cause, and how to stay aligned and be aware, and how does it help, and what is it that we must do to continue living in the state of mind, how to make it easier. And so we must learn. Over this past weekend, I was very grateful to have came across a very beautiful learning experience here at Dai Dang. I came across during when I was making food with a brother, and it wasn't the best thing. There was a problem that had arises. He didn't speak to me in a way that showed love and kindness, and instead it was through not in a friendly, brotherly way. Although he is a lot older than me, and I love him a lot, but I can only, there's a limit, and when that limit is crossed, I will have to do something in responding to his not nice way. And so I've let it go 2 times prior. So this time I must do something to show him, to teach him. But to start, I must do it from a loving intention, because it's your intention that they will feel ultimately in the end. I have no reason with this brother of mine. In actuality, it could take you day after day after day. But the most important thing is that will they understand and will they learn from the mistakes? Or will they not learn and they continue to boost their ego and say, you see, you do this wrong, you must listen to me, look at how I'm doing it, why can't you do it like me? Stuff like that, that's not nice. And so everyone, we have to see from all perspectives. We must see that everyone is different, and they're all on this journey to learning and bettering themselves at their own pace, and we can help push them, or we can help guide them in the best way that you can, and loving and compassion and with unconditional love, in my point of view, is a safe way to help someone. But obviously it's not the only way, and it's not a guaranteed way that will help someone. And sometimes somebody needs a hard kick instead of a loving compassion way, due to their karma and the way they were brought up. many factors in which I have no control over. And so I just let my intuition, what I feel is important and what I feel in that moment needed to happen. When I saw him during this time, I was the assistant of Sifu, and so I had to do something that, I had to bring Sifu medication at a particular time. And during this day, the administrator, monk, the person that creates these duties for the monks, has assigned me to do kitchen work with one of my brothers, and it had clashed onto my work with Sifu, right? And so I saw him in the kitchen, and I brought the food, the medication, the drink to Sifu, and I looked at him, obviously, like, hello, stuff like that, just make normal conversation, but in his eyes I could see that he wasn't, he didn't want anything to do with me, really. Just the fact that he saw my name on the board, he already had a tough time dealing with that, knowing that it's not going to be exactly how he enjoys working, like how he prefers to be working and at his own pace and stuff, and his own preference of what he wanted to do and stuff. And so by the time I brought the food, brought the things to my Sifu, that was 4 o'clock. And then, but when I got back to the kitchen, I asked him, I said, okay, here, let me help you out with that, since you're not going to tell me what to do. And so he was already, not that happy. He was just, concentrating with a concentration look, but not with the concentration of happiness. During work, you must be open to all obstacles, all positive and negative obstacles, and harsh words obstacles. But if something's going to continue like this, we must say something. And if you don't, that might be another way to do it too. But on this particular day, I chose to say something about it, to put him in his place. And whether that worked or not, who knows. And so I asked him, I said, here, let me take this and I will clean it up. And then, I've done this before. And so I'm going to shave the skin, the outside layers of the tomatoes, not the tomatoes, but some of the vegetables and fruit. And so as I grabbed it, and then he said, okay, you do this and this and this and this, and do all that, like a bunch of things. And I was like, okay. And then I thought about it, and I was like, okay, no, I can't do all this, because he's telling me too many things to do. And so I said, no, I will do this first. I will, clean up the skin, and I will cut these, and then once I'm done with it, I'll do more things. Just let me know what else I need to do. And so he's busy doing his own thing. I could already feel the tension. And so I grab everything, clean it up, and then I was just, not even 5 or 10 minutes cleaning things up after he finished doing his things. I think a lot of the times he must have been having a lot of issues dealing with his thought forms, whatever that was arising that's causing him to not being able to work and let go. And so he would constantly look at me, what am I doing? And I was doing this type of work for maybe 10-15 minutes to get everything correctly, because when you're doing these type of work, you're doing it for all the brothers here, and all the venerable masters and nuns And even those who come after to eat for the food, lay people might come, you know. And so this is mindfulness practice. It's only, it was 3 to 4 o'clock that day. So we had a full day. We started early so that we can get everything prepared for the next day, the next morning. And so we're just hanging out, we're just enjoying the weather. It was a nice day. And so I'm just getting everything prepared, and I was there on time. He was just stuck in his own world somewhere, and that was that. And so I continued to shave the skin off of the carrots and the potatoes and a number of other things until he came in. And there was a few things that he said that I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna say, but he said, like, I can do this in like 5 minutes, and I'm like, no, you can't do this in 5 minutes, and if you do, it's not gonna be good, and you're not doing it from a good place. You're just doing it to get it over with. No, you still have to do it and see exactly if the thing that you're making is edible for all the vernables, all the brothers to eat. You have to put in love with it. And so there's a number of things that was wrong, and he said he said some things that was not nice to me, that I don't need to go into detail. The bottom line is that he crossed it. He crossed the line of brotherhood, and I had to put him in the spot. I was like, okay, well, then you do it yourself, or you then you do it. Okay, don't speak to me like in those ways that you have done it. Okay, if you said that you can do it, then you go ahead and you do what you just told me, right? And I must have said a few other things too, but I sat there and I continued to do it because brothers, no matter what we say, we still do it. But he wasn't having it, and he kept having talks. He would just continue talking to himself, because I knew that I hit the spot, but he couldn't reflect. During that time, he should have reflected and asked himself, is that really what happened? Was it right, or did I do something wrong? And then after a little bit of time of reflecting, because that's what I did too, I reflected right away, and I knew I was wrong to speak in certain ways to make an older monk sad or not happy. But I'm willing to take the risk, and I never do it, but he's crossed the line three to 4 times, a lot of times, and it's not just me, but other brothers too. And so, yeah, and I barely did anything. Let's just put it like that. Pretty much, he ended up being too frustrated and wanted me to do the whole morning shift. And I've never done that before. And so the kitchen manager noticed that, and so he said, okay, how about we make burgers tomorrow? And that wasn't any problem with me, because I've made burgers for myself before. Burgers is nothing too difficult, but these are vegetarian, and so we gotta have a dessert or some sort of fruit and maybe a soup. And so I had to prepare all of that by myself now. You see, before this, I would always help him prepare every single time, and maybe sometimes I didn't, because I would forget that he wanted to start early, and so there was never a lot of communication, and communication is huge. You can't just assume something. You can't just assume anything ever. And so this is a part of your ego that thinks that people need to know something because you know it, or because everybody knows it. And so in order to be good brothers or a good person, you must be able to speak, to talk, to care, and to understand brothers. Your brothers and your sisters and those who you care about. You gotta talk to them. Say, okay, well, I'm gonna be doing this, and and we're gonna have to, start at this time. Like I pump them up. I tell them, like, tomorrow's the day. You know what day is it tomorrow? Tomorrow's the day when we accomplish this. Are you ready? And I come up with a game plan of what we can do ahead of time, and then so that we don't think about it. Okay, we thought about it once. Okay, we can think about it 2 or 3 initial more times. But you don't want to get caught up with the thought, because if you do that and you don't believe in the plan that you've given yourself, then you're just thinking about thinking. You're just thinking about so many things, and it's not going to do you any good. To preserve stress to your mind, so you don't want to get stressed out, because you can get stressed out from thinking, of course, obviously. You guys all know this. And so I would suggest, when you're doing something, have a game plan, think about it, and then think about it over again. Double check is always good, triple checking is fine, but then quadrupling, 5 times, 6 times, this is where it starts to become a problem. Once you get better at rechecking and knowing your mind, double checking, you'll become more efficient with it. And next time you will only have to double check, and you will have to only just do it once, and you'll know exactly what it is that you need to do. You don't need to check like 5 or 6 times, because your mind is so pure and that it knows exactly what it needs to do. Yeah, that can happen. If you work at it in that particular way, you'd be able to save time, save stress, be more happy, and getting more things done. And you're not worried about all the problems that might arise, because the more you think about the problems, those problems are attracting to you, because this life, this world that we live in, is a world of attraction, and you're attracting everything. Whatever it is that you can think about, you're attracting it. And so don't think of anything, and then you become nothing. Because you become everything, because you're attracting the stillness, the emptiness of the world that is so vast, that is in everything. It's like this hand. The emptiness of this hand is your fingers, or what is inside of the hand, or my face. My face wouldn't be this face, Nhut, if there isn't the empty spaces inside. This is in the same way the vast emptiness of the world. That's why there's a lot of dark matter. We constantly check for things that is visible to the eye, but we can't see all the dust, micro dust, that is not visible to the eye. We can only see and notice what is visible. That's why we can't see the significance of empty space, because we can only notice what is in front of us, and whatever is in front of us is something that is killing us, making us our lives more miserable, more problems, and more things that is unneeded. And so there is a very meaningful thing behind this emptiness. And we will go deeper and deeper each time so that we have a complete understanding of it, and that we can apply it into our life. But for now, let's just say that it is very meaningful, this empty space, emptiness. And so to have an initial plan is very important, but not to overthink about it, overstress, in which you can't sleep, in which you don't have like a motivation, a knowing without doubt that everything is going to be okay. Then it's gonna make that task a lot more difficult. And so what I do when I am working with a person that is willing to open up, and depending on our frequency or the way we interact, our level of communication, I will be able to open them up. And this is what I suggest to do. It can be helpful. And so I usually crack a joke or something to make them smile, because happiness and love is most important. It will give us the drive and motivation to continue forth in all obstacles. And so it's a vital part in everyday life and activity. And so motivate each other, joke about it, and come up with a game plan, and motivate each other. Sometimes I would say that to my brothers here, are you ready to get this party started? Because obviously we don't party, but our activities to helping Dai Dang, to me, in my eyes, I see it's a party. It can be a party. We can all have fun, and not being so stressed out that it's not going to be finished today, or that it's not going to be right, because there's a lot of times where it hasn't gone like that because people don't believe in themselves. They have to stress it over and over and over. But trust me, so how can we put this in practice, right? Okay, I'll continue the story so that it makes more sense. And so, come up with a game plan. Think about it once or twice if you're unable to have confidence in the game plan. And then just do things that's going to relax your mind, so that you can continue to be happy, and read a book, hang out, watch a movie, a happy movie, something that can help you in your life, so that you can enjoy your life out in nature, doing origami, folding paper, drawing. Drawing is okay. Drawing something, making it meaningful can be helpful. And then get a nice sleep, take a nice shower. And so that night, when I came back to the room, so then we decided to make burgers that day. And like I said, burgers I know how to make. Vegetarian burgers, you just microwave it, or that's how I did when I was younger. And then get something on the sides, and then I'm good. Making burgers is so easy, and especially for me, like making a burger, you unwrap the burger. This is how I did when I was before I was a monk. I would go to Sam's Club or something, Costco, and you would buy the patties, and then buy the buns, ketchup, mustard, maybe mayo, and because it's just me eating, right? And so I make my own, and then I have a side of yogurt, and then milk or something, pickles, lettuce, all those things, and then French fries if I bought some. And then I just cook it all up. I just microwave it. You just unpackage the packaging, and then you put it all together, and then voila, cheeseburger. So that's very easy, right? But here. Here at Dai Dang is a little bit different since there are so many monks and nuns. There's 29 to 30 something people here. And so that day, I was a little stressed. I was like, oh, I have made burgers before. I told the kitchen manager, I said, yeah, I can totally do burgers. Burger is gonna be a piece of cake, which it is. But then once you think about it, that you gotta make 32 burgers. How am I gonna do that? We don't have a huge kitchen, where we can. This will need a lot of people to make possible. At least 2 or 3, people to work with, and to make sure that everyone, there's lettuce on each and every one of the burgers. There's onions, and there's pickles and tomatoes, French fries for everyone. Do they do it right? All these things are very particular and very important in order for the burger to come out right, to taste good. And so that day, I thought it too simple, but I was caught up, and because of many other reasons, I spoke with the person who administrate working with the people, and that didn't go well because he couldn't understand my point of view. And all right, if that's what people think and they don't want to hear my position, then that's very sad. That's quite sad that you can do that. The other person, he spoke to the administrative monk before me, and when I spoke to the administrative monk, he didn't want to hear my point of view. He just went straight into how this and that about what happened, the incident, why did I respond in that way. Oh man. But that doesn't even matter, because time is always moving, and a lot of times I think that everything will work out in the end. That is what I am sure of. I believe deeply that everything happens for a reason, and you are in control of it, in control of your destiny, but everyone has their own destiny, and you can change people's perspective and help them, but you can only do that if they are willing to listen. And they can do this by becoming their highest potential, by understanding that everything is okay, and this is something that they will initially must want. And if they don't want this, and it's going to be very hard for everyone to change. And so that whole evening, a lot of things were on my mind too. So I was going through this problem, and so I thought about it. I was like, oh boy, I spoke about this in the videos to you guys, my friends, my students, and all the practitioners who come here. I thought about it. I was caught up in it for some time. It's a big deal. You're making it for 30-something people here at Dai Dang. Even the simplest things can be quite overwhelming, because I've never worked in a big kitchen before, making the food, even if it's as simple as making burgers. But burgers, when you think about it, it's easy. But then when you actually do it, that's when it can be hard and it can be difficult. And when you're doing it, it's very important to have another person do it with you, at least one person. So for what reason? So that to make sure that you're doing everything good. You're doing everything and you're not forgetting anything, and you're doing the best that you can for for the brothers and sisters here and all the Vernables. That's very important. I kept thinking about it. I went on a walk, I exercised, played with the dogs. All these things made it so much easier so that I can go back to my true home. Because I knew he was still in the kitchen. He was still doing whatever, and I didn't want to start preparing that day when he's in there. And so I used my time quite wisely. As the night continued to get darker and time is starting to wind down, I started feeling more pressure. Started to feeling frustration, like, what is actually going to happen tomorrow? I started to worry. I was like, oh God, what happened to my true home? Where am I? I started asking me these questions. I said, whoa, because I started to feel like uptight. You will have these certain feelings in your body, like, oh man, I'm trying to do something relaxing, but then my mind goes back to why. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? And so I'm just going to talk about it, because the only reason why I ask why is because I value this body. Whatever it is why didn't they get what I was trying to explain? Why didn't they listen? Why this and why that? Only why? Because of the I. Yeah. People can get caught up in certain issues, but it depends on how quickly can you get back onto the right path, on the right foot. And so I continued to think. I found it helpful to do a lot of stretches. Yes, I am advocating, I am suggesting, when you're stressed or when you are, and I used to do this a lot too before meditation. When you're meditating, your mind's going to be in its complete all straight, and you want to be relaxed, but just the fact that you're sitting in a upward sitting position, it can be very uncomfortable for your spine and your back, and if you don't know how to relax it, how to get into the right position before meditation, and you're not used to it, it can have an effect. And so I did a lot of these stretches, and we can go through it on another day. It's very helpful, and so I did a lot of these stretches, and due to the fact that I had hip soreness and tightness, at first I knew, because usually when you use a coin and when you use oil, you put it on your skin, and then in the spot in which you feel sore at, and you can't seem to, it's like a knot in your back, but I have it like in the very bottom of my spine on my back, and there's no way. Usually when you have these types, you can adjust your back, and then you give it a quick adjust, and then it makes a noise, and sometimes it helps, and sometimes it doesn't, but it should if you know how to do it correctly. If you use the coin and the oil, and you put it on that portion of that area that is causing you a lot of short pain or short muscle pain, you can relieve it by using the coin, and just continue to scrape it, not so hard, lightly, and then the skin will become red, a little bit red, and and then after a little while you will feel more, the knot might be might get better, and that area, that soreness of the area might be better. And so I did a lot of the yoga positions, in which really opens the bottom of your back. And as long as you do things and you're not attached to what you're doing, and then you're fine. So this is important, what you're doing, that you're not doing it over the top. You're just doing it so that this body is able to be healthy, in order to continue living peacefully, and to help those who are in need. And so I did a lot of these stretches, and it helped relax the mind. And as the times got, I took a shower during the night on that day, and then I went to bed, and I noticed a lot of times where I would think about it, and I continued to say, I need to be in control, and then I stopped saying that, and then I went back to just being in the state of awareness of the mind, to keep it from roaming, to going all over the place. It was a little bit more difficult, but what helped was I meditated for a little bit before going to bed. So meditation can help getting you back in the awareness state of mind. And then when I laid down, my body was still feeling the soreness. I don't know why that day I felt a lot of soreness throughout my body. Forgot what happened in which caused this body to be sore. Usually I can identify it quickly, but I still can't remember the reason why it happened, why I still feel the soreness. And so when I would be sleeping, I would notice that the mind is still going to that ego state of mind of why didn't, why did this person do that? Why didn't he respect? Why can't he understand? Why did he get mad? All these things of the past. And I knew that, that's not helping. But, just going back to the sense of awareness. And it'll all pass. But I noticed it was in full effect almost. Because it has happened many times before. It was harder than usual. But I knew that staying aware of the present, of what is at hand, which is my breath, because I wasn't doing anything. I was just trying to sleep. As I continued to notice my breath, meditation, to meditate, things started to calm down. These thought formation that enters your mind and leaves your mind. I just kept telling myself, like, okay, I notice you, I see you, I see what you're doing, I know exactly what you're doing, but I'm not going to entertain it. And so I'm not going to continue to think about it, because you've thought about it before. Like I said, you can think about it for one time, or two times. You got to catch when the thought, the domino effect, keep going. If it keeps going for so long, like a snake, an never-ending snake, then you're doing a lot of work for your mind. And so I caught myself, and I decided to wake up at 3:45 a.m. in the morning. Can you believe that? Before, I would never sleep or wake up this early, but now I wake up extra early before anybody and everybody. It's crazy. 3:45, I woke up in the morning, prepared everything, unwrapped all the vegetarian patties. They were in boxes, a bunch of boxes, but it's quite inconvenient. And so unpackaged all of them and then put them on a big oven pan so that I can oven them, boil them, broil them, And so I did all that, put in, oh, I've never put it, I've never baked them in an oven before. Burgers, I just microwave it. That was before. And if I didn't microwave it, I would put it on a pan, and I would make it. But today, I thought about it that night too. I said, okay, if we're gonna do this for 30-something people, we gotta. There has to be a way so that we can make it good and keep it warm. You know, I can't do it all in 5 or 10 minutes before, because everyone comes, wakes up, and goes to the kitchen in the cafeteria by 6:30. And so if I did it by 6:15, I'm afraid that I wouldn't be able to do it in time. And so the oven is the best, and I've never done it before. And so I thought about it. So it's important that you put a lot of avocado oil or some kind of oil. And so I got avocado oil. Put it on the pan, the baking sheet, and then I put it in a bunch, and I would put the avocado oil on the burgers too, and both sides. And this is very important to keep the veggie patties dry. I mean, the veggie patties moistened and fresh looking. Because if you don't put those in, and usually they have inside of them, they have oil or grease or whatever that's already inside of them that can preserve it. But before, I've done this before, and if you don't put those in, it's not gonna look good. And that day, I did it. I had to cut up all the lettuce, all the pickles and tomatoes, and then all the buns, and then I brought out all the drinks and the dessert, and it was a good thing. It was very good. Ketchup and mustard. It was just a lot of thinking beforehand, and usually I say, don't think too much, but it was a lesson learned, because I forgot the fact that, oh man, there's a lot of brothers here, so many. So yeah, 30-something people live with me, and so I had to provide and get all the plates and stuff all prepared out there for everyone to get. And it was just me. Usually, I helped him do things. Today he just didn't show up. But either way, he's still a good brother. But I understand during stressful times, your mind tends to go places in which you have no control of, even if you try to. Like for me, I responded not in the best way that made him, not happy. And this is something that I will have to maybe repay. Your intention is the ultimate decider of everything. If you're doing this from love, and that you're intending on doing things for the sake of others and not for yourself, because I know that he hasn't done this only to me. He's done this to many other people, and so he must learn from this. And yeah, and so my intention was to help him. And so you must have a positive intention. But if you did it from a negative intention, oh boy, that can have catastrophic recalls and karma. Bad negative karma is gonna come your way if you didn't do it with a positive intent. I can't exactly say that I'm not gonna have any karmic things that might be negative that comes my way in the future. I can't say exactly because I might have slipped somewhere. I might have made a mistake and it didn't. But I feel very confident that there's nothing that I can't overcome. And I continued when I was cutting and when I was doing everything. I would ask him, why are you shouting? Why are you angry? I spoke about the reality that was happening. Like, what are you doing right now? Like, why are you mad? Like, yeah, all these things that he should be asking himself. This is very important to ask yourself that, what am I doing? Oh, I'm thinking about nonsense. I'm thinking about things that has nothing to do with my purpose or what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm thinking about things that I'm just thinking about thinking. But thinking isn't helpful during that time because you're unable to notice what your heart is doing, what your mouth is doing, what your hands are doing. If you don't notice that, you'll get angry and you'll do things that are mindless. And it's not safe to do that, and that's why there's people who go into rehabilitation therapy to figure out techniques and help you stay aware, pretty much. Yeah, stay aware of your state of mind and your body. If people are unable to be aware of their mind, to know when your mind is being distracted from your ultimate goal. And during this time, my ultimate goal was to satisfy all my brothers, and to just be able to do it right and to do it well. And the burgers, turn out delicious. Like, it came out moist, and it was really good. The one thing that we didn't have yogurt, and so we went out and bought. I told one of the guys who decided to help me, come out to help me with the buying a few things. And so we the yogurt didn't follow through. There's always going to be problems, and so we didn't have yogurt. We didn't have soup to eat, but I did bring out milk and what else? Cookies, healthy cookies, and some fruit, but not a lot of people. A number of people did get those other things and liquids so that they can wash the burgers down, but not everyone did, and that's unfortunate because it's a perfect blend, at least to me. It's a really perfect combination. And then we forgot bananas because there wasn't any bananas, and that was it. But I started to notice it because during the night I started to think, like, I was confused. I said why. I asked those why questions. Who, what, when, why, when. And you only ask these questions when you feel that you were right. Well, if you're right, then you wouldn't think about it. Well, but something wasn't right with me. Yeah, some things weren't right. And so we had to continue. I had to continue to remind myself of what I tell you guys. What I tell you guys is, to stay present and attract the positive. Or don't even try to attract the positive, because by staying present, it will already already start attracting all the positive that you can imagine. Reminded me of who I truly was, not just telling myself that I need to stay in the present. And then I didn't meditate, I stopped meditating, I stopped everything, and then I just knew. I just lived with what I knew and what is happening. Like there was a burst of, it's hard to explain this because I just stopped, and then things started to happen, and I didn't need to worry, because I already knew. I knew what was going to happen, because things were going to be okay, and they did. They turned out perfectly as I knew it would. First thing I woke up, I had help. I had people coming to help me. People, I wasn't sure that they would follow through to give me, to help or not. And so, but it went okay, and I just kept going with this brilliance of positive energy without even asking for it. In the beginning, I would think about it. I was like, okay, things are gonna get better. Positivity is the way. Blah 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 blah, and then I just let it all go. And then I continue with this frequency, this energy, and I never let go. I didn't let go of it. I kept on holding it, and even right now, I continue to remember to live with this frequency that, okay, well, this is happening, and that is happening. Everything is happening. And everything is just continuing to happen. And I don't let it disturb me from right or wrong. It's just gonna continue to happen. And then it was perfect. It turned out exactly as it should. I don't know what else to say. It's just, it happened so exactly as it needed to happen. And it was marvelous. It was very good. There's been a lot of other times where these bursts of issues and problems has given me a lot of time so that I can grow, going back to my true home. This way of processing life, this way of undoubtable mind, undoubtfulness, just letting go and just living life to the fullest. That's exactly what had happened. And like I said, I'm not perfect, and I'm still on this journey of learning, still on this journey of growing, and there will be times where I slipped up, and I slipped up. I'm gonna say it because I wasn't present, and it took me a little while, and I'm kind of surprised how why it took me a little long, but this is great. This really opened my eyes. Now I can go back, and I've told the universe this. I said, okay, give me something that I would be surprised, so that I can work on this. Not work on this, but so that I can know that it's, this is exactly what needs to happen. This is to remind me of who I am, and what is it that's giving us this life? Who is in control of this body? Is it the mind, or is it the thought? Or is it something else that goes beyond the mind, body, and soul. Does it go beyond all that? Is it something that we can describe? Who is that? Who is that? And yes, and so you just continue to not worry, because obviously you are perfect and you must believe it. You don't believe it because you why don't you believe it? I don't know why you don't believe it. You're unable to know this because you forgot. And so just keep doing what I do, and more whenever I have these opportunities, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for these opportunities to learn from them. And I've had a lot of these obstacles, and I'll share more positive ones that has helped me so much. So many meaningful things has happened since I've been here, and even before. You know, I've always noticed the mind since I was very young, and so that's why when I come here and I was like, okay, well, I've been doing this for a long time now, but there's a difference, because before I didn't notice it and I didn't change it, but I still would wonder about it. And now we see, and now the all the patriarchs, all the Buddha's teaching is talking directly about it. And so not only did I notice it, now I'm in control of it by letting it all go. And I thought I had to do something in order to control it. No, I just had to not worry about it, not pay attention to it. Then that in itself, that I'm really controlling it by letting go. By letting it all go, I would be absorbed in this vast energy that is all over and everywhere and everything. So the more of these kind of situations will arise, my connection with the monk will only get better. I will be able to easily fix it. I have no doubt either. This is what has arisen from it, and everybody makes mistakes. I must have made a mistake. I'm here to bring everyone together, bringing everyone closer together, and living as a family. And in a family, there's gonna be times where you argue, and there's gonna be times where happiness is taken part. And so this is just one of so many other meaningful things that has happened throughout my time here at Dai Dang, and many other times that I've been aware of my own mind, being able to grow stronger and stronger, bringing about wisdom and light into this presence, into the present, and all around us, all the light, all the love that is here. And so I will tell you more amazing and beautiful and meaningful, happy moments that is here. And I'm so excited to share those times with you. This is what I experienced, something difficult, something that you guys can relate. Don't hold any of this too deeply, because I am not holding it at all. This was great because it turned out great. I'm happy, and everyone else was happy, and that whole day was good to me. And I think it's only going to get better and better, and I hope that he learned something from it, and I sure have. This has brought me back to my home. Oh man, the place that I need to be, I should be all the time. Amazing, so amazing. That day turned out perfect. Friends, on the next time I will share another beautiful story, a very funny one, on the next one, and so that we can learn from it, we can grow from it. These stories, I should have written a book, a journal in my everyday life, because there's so many meaningful and stories that I've had with Sifu and all my other brothers. I've created so many memories with the brothers here that I can't forget. That we had moments together, like deep moments together, in which you can only feel that we've been together in countless lifetimes before as a family, as brothers. And you can feel this sense of brotherliness from them. I am the youngest. I'm the youngest here at Dai Dang Monastery, and these older brothers, they're a lot older than me. They're at the age of my parents, my dad, 45, 55 and up, and some are younger than that. And the few newer monks, recently ordained monks, one is a little bit older than me, and the other one is about 10 years, close to 10 years older than me. And so they're newer, and so they're my younger brothers, and we share a lot in common. I will share a lot of great things that I have with those younger brothers of mine, and all the memories that we've created here during the times that they've been here. Yeah, I'm very excited to introduce my brothers with you guys, because it brings us back to when I first was ordained, became a monk, and all the hardship that I had to go through in order to continue this path, this journey. And I can't wait for more meaningful moments on the next time. Guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And look at the time. It's, oh man, I need to shorten these videos up, right? I apologize for making these videos so long, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it, that you guys learned a lot from it. Don't take it too personally, because this is a growing experience for me. I'm learning from it, and you're learning from it, and what's important is our happiness and our daily life. We need to continue to smile and learn from each other. I miss all your smiles. I miss how you guys would just run to the dogs and play. All the screaming, all the stuff that younger little children do. All right, and so on the next time, we will continue to learn how to deal with stressful situations, and how to make it meaningful, and being aware of your thoughts and the intention on what it is that you're trying to do, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Have a positive intention, have a good, loving intention, and go back to the present, the mind that has no expectation, no good, no bad, no time. It's just a sense of awareness, and trust it, and don't doubt it. Just keep going, have no doubt, and then we will share more of these experiences. Not only can we apply it to certain situations that can be rough, but we can apply it to good things. As you can see, it's easier to describe how the future is going to get better now, because once you stay in this mindset, it's only going to get better. And I'll explain more in detail about how it's only going to get better from this point on, because you will hear more stories about it. See you all in the next video. Bye bye.